Hello, my name is Ralf Friedrichs. I'm an addiction recovery coach, a life coach, and the host of this show, the Take Your Life Back Today show. Folks, today's a rainy Wednesday here in Virginia. Is addiction a disease or is it a mental illness? For centuries, addiction to alcohol and drugs has been as a moral failing. The person addicted was viewed as lacking in willpower, but while that view is still held by some individual, a new model for understanding addiction has risen to the forefront in scientific community. The reality is, my friends, addiction is a disease, and the research is there to support that. Drugs physically change the brain and create a compulsive drive to continue using while inhibiting normal decision-making abilities. This development was huge implications for those who are living with and fighting against addiction was confirmed. What is addiction, and is it a choice? According to drugabuse.gov, addiction is a chronic, often relapsing brain disease that causes compulsive drug seeking and use despite harmful consequences to the addicted, the individual, and to those around him or her. The key here is that the addicted person will continue using even when they see the harm their addiction is causing themselves. They know it's bad for them and they don't want to be addicted. But addiction is characterized by the inability to stop. Why is addiction considered a disease? Drug addiction follows a similar pattern to other chronic diseases such as asthma, diabetes. The patient will go into remission, but may have several relapses before beating the disease. And like these diseases, addiction too can be treated and managed if you want to. Many people combat the disease model addiction will make the point that the addicted person chooses to start using drugs or alcohol. This is true, but besides that, the point, some people try drugs or alcohol and never get addicted. Others, however, have a biological or situational predisposition to addiction. Once they begin using, the addiction takes on a life of its own and is much harder to control. Addiction is also considered a disease because it can cause changes to the brain. Not only does it create a physical dependency in which the individual cannot stop taking the substance without experiencing withdrawals, but it also affects the individual's ability to make reasonable decisions. How drugs change the brain. Every drug, including alcohol, disrupts the reward system in the brain. Unfortunately, long-term usage can cause changes in the reward circuit that influences the brain's ability to function, specifically the areas of the brain that are tied to making decisions, to learning, remembering, and to controlling behavior that are all affected by this. According to a paper published by Ruben D. Baylor and Nora D. Volkow, both from the National Institute on Drug and Abuse, there seems to be intimate relationships between the circuits disrupted by abused drugs and those that are underlie self-control. The time has come to recognize that the process of addiction erodes the same neural scaffolds that enable self-control and appropriate decision-making. With addiction eroding self-control, it's no surprise that it's supremely difficult for a drug abuser to quit on their own. Volkow drives her point home in TEDMED 2014 presentation that for us to be able to exert self-control will require the proper function of the area in our brains that regulate our behaviors. What this means to the addict is, why is it so important to recognize addiction as a disease? The answer is that way we view condition heavily influences the way we treat those who have it. When you learn that addiction is a disease, three truths become clear. It's not all about willpower. When a person loses their life to a drug addiction, someone undoubtedly says something along the lines of, they made their choice. Folks, please treatment is effective. Getting sober and staying sober on your own is difficult, and unfortunately for some substances, detoxing can be extremely dangerous. This is where a rehab center comes in place. Just like other chronic recurring disorders, repeated treatments are often necessary to achieve success in the long run. At a recovery center of your choice, these treatments will take the form of talking with your counselor, taking medications to help ease the withdrawals, and taking part in activities that are focused on helping you heal. You'll regain abilities that you may have forgotten about, as well as learn techniques for managing cravings and continuing sobriety long term. Relapse is normal, expected, and manageable. Following the model of addiction as a disease, relapse is not a failure of treatment. Relapse happens, and it simply means that treatment needs to be changed in order to continue being effective. You can overcome addiction. I full-heartedly believe that addiction does not have to rule your life. I will guide you throughout your recovery, from preparing for your detox to getting treatment to experiencing your new life. Call me at 844-405-HELP. Together we can help each other take our lives back. May God bless each and every one, and may you get the help you need soon. Goodbye, and may God bless you.